Sorry, hiccups. You know how many times I've had to start and restart this video because of hiccups and like actual hiccups. It is morning. Good morning. My plights mean nothing to y'all, and that's okay. So we're gonna actually be looking into two books this morning. Francis Chan, Forgotten God, and the All Important Bible. Of course, again, it's down to the King James Bible because that's the one I use. Got a Carolina wren chirping at me. First, we're going to read from Francis Chan because in his book, he mentions, or at the very beginning, actually, he's talking about the cover. But we're going to focus on this little blip right here. It says exegesis, an attempt to discover the meaning of the text objectively, starting with the text and moving out from there. Eisegesis, to import a subjective, preconceived meaning into the text. I don't know if I'm pronouncing those words correctly, but bear with me. I've actually never heard them said outside of this book. I probably could have looked it up, but I didn't. Because you know what? Right now, it's not necessarily how I say it, I think, at this point, so much as what it means. But I will go figure it out eventually. Focus, Brittany. So exegesis and eisegesis, it's basically explaining how we read books. Mainly in this, we're talking about how we read the Bible. We're not putting our own ideas and basing them like, okay, for example, Jesus died for my sins so I can party and do whatever it is that I want to. I can curse and I can have relations and I can do all those things and it'll be all okay because the Lord loves me. Jesus died for my sins, so it's okay. Jesus loves me. That's not how that works. What's that commercial where those little old ladies are making Facebook or something or whatever and they're posting the pictures on the wall? She goes, that's not how that works. That's not how this works. Anyway, so bear that in mind as we go on, remembering eisegesis and exegesis, because we will be discussing discernment, which this is part 3 in our 4-part video series kind of thing. It is morning here. I did sleep in. You'll have to forgive me. We're going to start in Proverbs 2, 3 through, what did I write down? Proverbs chapter 2. Gee whiz, I can't. We're not in Proverbs. Yes, we are in Proverbs. Oh my goodness, y'all. I swear I'm awake. Yea, if thou criest after knowledge, and liftest up thy voice for understanding. If thou seekest her as silver, and searchest for her as for hid treasures, then shalt thou understand the fear of the Lord, and find the knowledge of God. The Lord giveth wisdom out of his mouth, and cometh knowledge and understanding. So Proverbs chapter 2, is actually pretty decent, I would say, when it comes to talking about discernment. It's talking about the wisdom that comes from the Lord's mouth, but we have to be able to hear it, to listen for it, to pay attention to it. Not just be like, it's okay, the Lord loves me, he'll forgive me, and just go on from there. This is like we're praying to actually actively hear what the Lord is saying to us at all times. And if you're like, you know what, Old Testament, New Testament, I mean, yes, there's plenty in the Old Testament because a lot of people, for some reason, don't think the Old Testament is important. Proverbs is in the Old Testament. So, I mean, Proverbs is really good, actually. I like reading Proverbs because it's kind of like, listen, here is how we should do these things. This is how we should live. This is how we should be. Focus on this, talking about, it says instructions, warnings and instructions. I mean, come on, Proverbs is it. But let's focus. So we're going to go, now we're staying in Proverbs. We're going to go to chapter 14, verse 16, I believe is what I wrote. No, it was 6, excuse me. Let's see. A scorner seeketh wisdom, and findeth it not. But knowledge is easy unto him that understandeth it. Going back to discernment. When we read that, when it says, a scorner seeketh wisdom, and findeth it not. Goes back to the exegesis, eisegesis. They're saying, you know what? The Lord will forgive me no matter what I do. I can abort this child and the Lord will forgive me because it's murder, but it's not murder. It is murder. I lost my place. But knowledge is easy unto him that understandeth it. There's a lot of things that could have happened when my late husband died. In fact, he was murdered. I'm going to go ahead and go into that for just a hot second. I could have done a lot of things. I never was mad at God, for starters. It was never something, I was never mad. But I will say, there were a lot of people that were. I had even somebody ask me, why aren't you mad at God for taking your husband? God didn't take my husband away. What are you talking about? Looking back from, like, hindsight's 2020, I can look back and say, actually, it may not have been the worst thing. And I'm not saying that I'm glad that he died. That's not what I'm saying. But it may not have been the worst thing that he did. There were some things going on behind the scenes that were not okay. And so during that time, God actually spoke a lot to me. And that helped, So I was using discernment. But I also heard other voices, and not just the people around me, but darker voices. Because I'm not boasting at all, but I get like visions and I can see, and it's a lot of emotion. The emotion that I can't seem to grasp here on, the earthly plane or whatever, but it's a supernatural thing that I'm able to feel. And I can't exactly explain it. Like, I knew exactly when my husband died. I don't exactly know how, but I knew it and I felt it. And I mean, it was all day long. And I knew something was wrong. And God was trying to warn me in the only way that he knew how. Because during that time, I wasn't really listening to God like I should have been. I wasn't like, going out and doing things I shouldn't have been, so to speak. But I also wasn't living for God. And the only way that he could get to me and reach me was through these emotions and through these things that he was doing. No, God did not kill my husband. A man did. A human being chose to make that decision. And anyway, moving on. So, discernment. We're going to go into the New Testament now. Go to Romans. Got it wrote down. Chapter 12, verse 2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by renewing of your mind, that ye may prove that that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. So again, we're listening to what God has to say and not the world. It's talking about, you may have been like me, where you kind of were like, you weren't even lukewarm to God. You knew he was there. You believed in God, all these things, but you didn't actually fully believe. It took me years after my husband died for me to be where I'm at now, where I could say, without a doubt, yes, the Lord is real. All these things that happened, they happened for my good. They happened for my son's good. They happened for my family's good. There were, it's continue. The Lord knows what he's doing. I'm just going to put it out there right now. The Lord knows what he's doing. Just let him do. You have to be able, though, to stop and listen. Be still and know. Why is this so hard today? I know why it is. Because we're doing something for the Lord. And the distractions are coming to distract me from not being able. Discernment. I am using discernment. Do not be distracted when it comes to the Lord, because the Lord wants to talk to you. He wants to hear from you. He wants to be a part of your life. You need to be still. Let him talk. If you talk, yes, he loves to hear from you, but he also wants to talk to you. He wants to sit with you like a friend, like a father, like a brother, like all those things that you need, because the Lord is all of those things at once. And by choosing discernment, you are choosing to listen to his voice and his words. You are choosing to go by his voice and his word. instead of the world saying this. It's okay because of the rest of the world believes that it's okay, even when it's not. A lot of this video is a lot of my distractions. A lot of this video was extremely hard to record. And I can't figure out why. Discernment is not as hard as it sounds. Some people meditate. Some people go into a quiet spot. Some people do all kinds of things. And sometimes you're going to have distractions. You're going to have things that are wanting to pull you away. Like, I was looking for my phone. I'm recording on my phone. But we have to be present. We have to listen. We have to put those distractions away. Teach your children, teach your family, teach your siblings, teach your everyone. We have to do those things. So that way we can make sure that we're hearing the voice of God and not the rest of the world. Because he does speak. He is like a roaring lion. But he can also be, he could be anything. If he could turn sand into gnats, Exodus, then he can do anything. We just have to stop and listen. That is discernment. Knowing the difference between what God says and what the world says. That is what today's video is about. And I did go a little over because I suddenly became like, was come over, I guess. I don't know. All right. Love y'all. Have a good rest of y'all's weekend. I don't know where you're at or where you're watching or when you're watching from. But don't worry. Be still, pray, and then be silent and listen.